Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school. Internet.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
And happy Monday to you all. Welcome to the IRONWORX right here on freeworld.fm. Whilst we also live stream on our YouTube channel, Iron Realm Media. And yeah, it's been so far a real Monday, a real live Monday. For those of you watching there on the YouTube channel, you might notice that we are down a man because Walter is having audio issues. He has adjusted and readjusted and routed and rerouted and installed and uninstalled things until now he says he gets nothing coming through, so he can't hear us. He may pop in and say something, but really that's about all he can do. We hear him just fine. He sounds really good. He just doesn't have anything on the incoming side. So there's that. But I do see we are joined by Mr. Zachary Zabala. Zach, how about you, sir? How was your weekend?
Oh, not too bad. Pretty uneventful.
Well, those are some of the best kind.
Yeah, it was relaxing, must say. Got cold, though. It's been chilly around here. I'm not a fan of I don't want to say cold, because it's not cold. I know what cold is, but chilly. Not a fan of it even being chilly. It's not so bad, like, in Indiana, you got this every year. 50 degrees was freezing in September, right? 50 was just freezing. But in March, late March, April, 50 is warm. It's just, I don't know.
It's the acclimation. Once your body adjusts.
Yeah.
Your body's
getting used to it and all that stuff.
When it's adjusted to the summer, then 50 degrees feels chilly. When it's adjusted to the winter, then 50 degrees feels warm. And here it's already acclimated, and as temperature swings are so drastic that sometimes 50 degrees is cold, sometimes 50 degrees is hot. You just never can tell. But you'll get maybe a 50 degree temperature swing throughout the day. So wake up with frost, and by the time I get home from work, it's 80 degrees outside. You're like, well, Jesus, how do you adjust to that?
How was your weekend?
Same, uneventful. Dixie's still sick, so she did a lot of resting. My back was real tight for some reason, and I did a lot of resting, so that pretty much sums up my weekend. Did pretty much nothing but resting.
Bunny's doing good?
Bunnies are doing really good so far. Harris did manage to sneak out a couple of times over the weekend. Sometimes, well, we have to keep him locked basically in his little X-Pen condo that we call it. And it's open into the kitchen, so he has free run in the kitchen and then into his condo. But then we block off the rest of the house, and he's limited to there. Because sometimes you don't always latch the gate, latch the little thing we have blocking off. So when he gets wild in there, do what?
Harris Houdini.
Yeah, he is quite the monster, because he'll get in there and he'll just move stuff around and push stuff with his nose and till he can figure out a way to get out. But he didn't box Benny or Dahlia, which is always good. Left them completely the hell alone. Went right into here. Came right straight into the studio and was just hanging out with Evie, which is a really good sign. I mean, it's one thing for him to want to come in here because she's different smelling and, you know, all that stuff. But when that's the case, they can have a tendency to get a little territorial. Evie over her spot because it's hers, and Harris over the spot because it should all be his. And they tend to get into fights and arguments that way. And it's not really good for the bonding process if that's how they remember each other. But they were just in here chilling, hanging out. No fights, no arguments. Just like we didn't even realize he was in here until we went out to the kitchen and he wasn't in there. Dixie had to go find him, and this is where he was both times, just hanging out in here with Evie. So that's really interesting.
You didn't hear any bowls being thrown or anything like that?
Nope, not throwing dishes. That only comes when you're like 5 minutes late with breakfast or dinner. That's when they start throwing the dishes. And really, it's only Harris. Everybody else is pretty much has some decent table manners. He's just a monster.
That's awesome. I'm seeing Walter.
Yeah? Like I said, we'll see.
I got an idea if you can hear me, Walter. Talk through your computer, but listen through your phone. That way you still sound good and you can still hear us in time.
Or just
an idea.
Just come in on your phone would work too. And then you'd have two different accounts, you see, somehow. I don't think that works. I think YouTube shuts one down, opens up the other.
No, Zoom will, but Skype won't.
Are you sure that's right?
Skype. Yeah, I do it all the time. Because I share for Liz so she can watch Fortnite, but I still talk on my phone.
I could have sworn I saw you with 2 accounts on Zoom. Your phone.
I might have 2 on Zoom.
Gotcha. Well, we're just throwing ideas out there, Walter. But we are also joined this morning, believe it or not.
The man, the myth, the legend.
That's right, Mr. Alex Michael. No, that's... I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing really well, Alex.
So beautiful day here in Spain. Currently 11 o'clock. Well, 10 past 11. Look at that. Beautiful. It's currently 11:11 in Spain, and I'm currently drinking bleach.
Here, as long as you drink really small amounts. What was that, Charlie? Have you ever seen that show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, horrible show. Horrible people. It's funny, but they're just horrible people. Well, Charlie, the janitor, he thinks that bleach is the universal poison deterrent.
Well, it's a pathogen killer. It's the solution's in the dilution. So it's known as chlorine dioxide solution. And if used in the right amounts, it can be an incredible pathogen killer. And I'm using it at the moment to, I've shed so many pathogens, mate, and Candida being one of them. I had a big Candida die-off, and I don't want to get too graphic, but dude, you want to see this crap that came out of me thanks to this CDS protocol. So yeah, literally drinking bleach.
Yeah, I've heard people doing that and using it to, like you said, to clean out. All in moderation, though. He was taking straight shots of bleach.
Oh no, that's you got the dilution rates right, and you've got to kind of introduce it very slowly. And if you start to get diarrhea, you sort of back off a little bit, and then you get more and more used to it. You can do CDS enemas. My wife's done. Actually, I've done one of those as well. But yeah, you got to constantly detox, haven't you? In this world. I mean, I'm looking out the window now, and it's just like a real chemmy sky. They've been at it again this morning, so. You know, you don't realize you're sick in a way until you actually start doing these protocols and you actually start to see what comes out. You're like, holy shit, was that really in me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's time for another round on the Rife machine. I haven't done it in a couple of years, but there's parasite remover and all kinds of stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah, I've got a list of all the Rife frequencies. I didn't realize that was on there. Parasite removing frequency. How cool is that? That's my next album then.
There you go. Oh, man. So how was your weekend, Alex? I know you were busy, man.
Oh, dude, what a weekend. It's been the busiest weekend of my life, man. It's been, I mean, I did, was 11/11 on Saturday was the album release. Very excited and apprehensive to see what people would think about it. And so I released that and had to do a bit of web design and make sure everything was all ready for the album to go. And then I was on with THC for a couple of hours. And then as soon as I finished that stream, I had a bunch of people turn up at my place for a sort of quote unquote album release party. Dave Mannell was there, who you might know as Trinity 4 on YouTube. And so we hang out and, you know, till fairly late, you know, and we had a great time. And then on Sunday, what did I do on yesterday? I was on another stream with Flatman X and Austin Thompson. And then I went out to a bar and where there's a band, and I got up and jammed with them. So that was pretty cool. And processing a bunch of orders because a lot of people have been buying the CD, which is awesome. Thank you so much if that's you. And so I've been processing. Well, the wife, bless her, has been processing all of the physical CD orders and that. So it's been incredibly busy weekend, but it's just, I'm exhausted. But it's so cool because, you know, it's like giving birth when you make an album. It's like 9 months of labor or however many months it took. And then you pop it out and it goes, and then you're like, you want everyone to love your baby, right? So you're really anxious that, you know, some people are going to hate it. Someone's going to call your baby ugly, you know, because it's rock music. Not everybody likes rock, and I get it. And if you're one of them people that doesn't like rock, I get it. But consider getting the album for someone else who does like rock. It's a rock truther album. Take away that theatrical layer, you know, and then you've got just incredible truths in there, you know, paradigm shattering truths. And that's the most important thing. I'm just wrapping it up in a little rock package, if you like, same as I did with the Flat Earth Man album. It was wrapped up in a comedic package. Remove that comedic layer, then you get, you know, some of the most fundamental truths of our time, you know, some paradigm shattering stuff there. So everything is all theater. I wrap it up in these little theatrical bows. You know, this time it's rock, next time it might be blues, or it might be reggae, who knows. I want to try and do as many genres as possible to get into you know, to reach more people if possible.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. What was I going to say? I had a good one for you. Hey, Walter again.
Hello?
There he is.
No, he's not. This is me with a pair of earbuds I finally dug out of a box that will attach to my phone. My apologies all around. I can't even explain what. It would take half the show to tell you all the fun I've been having. Up until and including, even on my phone, I couldn't get Skype to work for about 10 minutes. I finally had to uninstall it there and reinstall it. I don't know. We'll get into it later. But Alex is here. It's good to hear you, my friend. Y'all go right ahead. I will probably not say much because I'm sure this sounds horrible.
Sounds fine, bro.
You don't sound too bad, Walter, at all.
Well, like I said, I'm on the phone with earbuds, so it's the best I can do
it's
to get
not
in the
the
show.
super silky, sultry voice we're used to, but it gets the job done. You can't miss.
Oh, this definitely Skype. I mean, it is Skype. There's 100% no doubt. Twice I got it working, going to Michelle's computer one time and doing everything I needed to do, playing music and doing everything. I came in here to my setup and got my brother in the call, and he couldn't hear anything. Same thing happened yesterday, but I sent it to her phone. She heard me, heard the music, everything's fine. Called my sister. It went away. It's like it won't let it leave my house. That's really how it feels. Like it don't want the music to get out of my house. It's anyway, I'm glad to hear that the launch went well this weekend, man. I definitely am excited for everybody to hear it. I've heard quite a big chunk of it myself. I appreciate that early taste, like you have no idea. I can do that right now, my friend. Give me just 1 second. At least I can be functional. You guys go right ahead. I'll be doing a little behind-the-scenes manipulation.
I remember what I was going to ask you now, Alex. Have you noticed in this community that people aren't so much into the heavier stuff? It's like much fewer and far between the people in this community that like the heavier rockin'.
No, that's what I did. I did think that. That's why I was really apprehensive. Like not many people like rock, but I was really shocked at the weekend at how many people downloaded it and bought the physical CD. I think there's more people that like that heavier stuff than I realised. And at the end of the day, the most popular songs on my channel, the most popular being I Told You So. It's that heavy blues, and I've got another one called Big Pharma and Television Watching News Believer as well. They're all very hard, heavy, Metallica sounding sort of songs.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
People love that. They like the anger, not so much anger, but the attitude of it, you know, being able to shout out and belt it out is quite a therapy. It's been quite a therapy for me, this album, being able to get all this stuff off my chest and shout into a microphone like, you idiots kind of thing. Wake up, I told you so, I was right kind of thing. There's a lot of that in there. But there's also a lot of tongue-in-cheek, you know, stuff in there as well in the album. So it's not, you know, I don't present myself as a rock artist. I'm just a creative bloke having a go at rock. But I was surprised to see how many people were like, this is cool, I love this. This is so. I think there is more of some rock heads out there than I realized.
Yeah, maybe it's just in the Globebusters, people who watch the Sunday show. Yeah. There's just people that they don't like the heavier intro that you made for us as much as the softer melodic stuff, and I love it.
Yeah, not everyone's going to like it, are they? And at the end of the day, you know, Jaron approached me and said, you know, make it for Bob, do it for Bob. So I knew Bob loved the heavy stuff. And so when I sent it to Jaron, he was like, great. Yeah, I know it's not Jaron's cup of tea. I know it's not Austin's cup of tea because he prefers the hip hop and the mellow stuff. I get it. And if I was asked to make a theme for Globebusters that they would all like, it would have been absolutely more mellow. But I was asked to make it for Bob, so I went, right, full Metallica mode, you know. And I know Bob's up there going, oh, I fucking love that. You know?
Yeah, dude, every time I play it, man, my head can't stop from moving.
It's got a lot of energy, you know. And at the end of the day, what defines rock music? Well, a distorted guitar, more gain, that power chord. That's what defines rock music. And all we're talking there is more frequencies. So all you're doing is you're turning up the gain, adding more frequencies, and call it distortion. I think that's an unfair name to call it distortion. I don't think you're distorting the frequencies. You're just simply adding more. And, you know, and if it, you know, so you're now going to have a lot of more undertones and more overtones with that guitar sound. Now, me being a fan of the 432, it's like, well, if your original frequencies in 432, those overtones and undertones, now those harmonic overtones and undertones are all at the right mathematical frequencies in between notes. So you're just adding more goodness, if you like. You listen to those rock guitars in 432, it's like, oh, it's just so empowering. And maybe that's why they're called power chords. They can be empowering. A rock guitar in 432 hertz, man. I get goosebumps when I listen to it. It's such an awesome sound, but of course we don't have that with Metallica and, you know, these bands, AC/DC. They're all using dissonant 440. That's why people are turned off by that, you know. But I'm trying to bring, you know, some wellness back to rock music. But that's what rock is. Rock is just more frequencies.
Absolutely. Real quick, I think a lot of maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing here, but maybe some of the hesitance to head into the deeper end of the metallic pool is with all the associated album cover imagery, the dark lyrics, dealing with death a lot of times. I mean, you know, Metallica has a whole album dedicated to death. Literally every song on there is about dying in one way or another. So some people don't want to hang with that energy. I get that. Trust me, I do. I'm lucky enough to be able to appreciate both ends of the spectrum, or all ends of the spectrum, I guess, or whatever. But it does seem that with some of the heavy-handed, you know, dark, demonic stage presence, whatever you want to call it, that some of the bands use, because hell, it sold records. I mean, look at all the horror movies in the cinema. So, Fear and horror definitely sell. But I think it pushed the heavy music into that vein where that's kind of all people associated with it. And that's kind of unfortunate because there's a lot of great music to be found out there in all of that.
Yeah,
I did get you modded up. Oh, there you go. You got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for that. No, I get it. Yeah. A lot of people's perception is that of rock music. It's, you know, the devil's music, right? Yeah. Well, if you're going to sing songs about death, yeah, and do it in 440 hertz, and it's all this, you know, and you got young teenagers listening to death metal for 8 hours a day through their, you know, earpods. So they're getting radiated while listening to 440 music and listening to songs about death, and we wonder why teenagers are grumpy. Right? So I'm trying to change that, you know, and like I say, I'm not a rock artist. I'm just a creative bloke. I can do a bit of reggae. I might do a rap album. I might do, you know, who knows? Might do a gospel. Who knows? You know. But at the end of the day, you know, my songs are not about death. They're about life. You know, they're about, you know, consciousness and making people aware of what's going on. And, you know, it could just be a catchy chorus or a line in the song that gets somebody. It could be the catalyst that gets someone on their journey of truth. And that's what these songs are really good at doing. So I'm sort of trying to change the perception of rock, really. But yeah, there'll always be those people that just go, rock, no, not having it, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's always going to be those people.
And that's fine.
We're going to be getting our album here this Saturday. We went to go. I was waiting. I was like, all right, album's coming out today. And Jaron came up at 7 a.m. and was like, hey, did you order an Uber yesterday? I was like, Jaron, we have a car and I drive. Why would I order an Uber anywhere? We found out from Vegas, someone got our credit card information and went back out to San Francisco and has taken like 20 Ubers. And the Vegas thing, they were actually in the process of taking an Uber when we called the credit card company. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait. Our new card should be here by this weekend.
Everything doesn't stay in Vegas.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, so our credit card is turned off for right now, but we're going to be getting it this Saturday for sure.
Cheeky bastards.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff stolen in Ibiza. Another story, I was swimming in the pool and someone lifted my bloody bag and it had about 400 euros in it, my iPhone 11, my reading glasses. I was like, you bastards.
Yeah, it's not like they took the card. They must have had one of those card scanner things or something somewhere. We're thinking it happened at one of the dispensaries out there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that around.
Pulled money out of an ATM, and right after that is when charges started happening.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's devices they can like use out there because we had like a string of that for about 2 Christmases in a row, maybe even going into a third one. Some of our information somehow got stolen out in the world, you know, et cetera. And we always had to get a new card or whatever. And it always seemed to be related to like somewhere we went that we normally wouldn't have gone to, you know, shopping out of town, 2 or 3 hours away, that kind of thing. So bigger city, bigger chances, I guess, for people to, I mean, there's things they can literally walk by you and pick up your card information. That's some of these new wallets that are out there with the RIFD blocking stuff to keep that kind of thing from happening. They don't even have to put a device over the ATM itself, but they do have devices that can attach to the ATM and either look exactly like what you're going to be doing into it, or it'll like read it and send it to the people. There's all kind of stuff, right? Because we were astounded to find out all the different ways they can get your information. Try not to use a pump card reader thing to pay for your gas if you can help it too. That's an infamous place that we've gotten gacked a few times on trips. So just a little heads up. But yeah, man, definitely excited. I think we've been joined, if I see something on my phone correctly. Is that correct? Your cohort there?
I think you might be right.
Okay, I thought I muted myself here. I'm having so much fun. Everything's a little delayed, like on my phone too. Like it, so I'm not sure when it's something wrong or something going on. What's up, Chris? Flatman X?
Nope, I think you got the wrong Flatman. I think that's Flatman B.
Oh, is it? Oh, I just saw the Flatman pop up. I could have swore I saw Chris for just a second ago, though.
I don't know. Well, can we play one of Alex's songs?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, sweet. I couldn't tell if my mic was working or not.
And yes, Zach, I do believe we can.
You guys
Yeah,
have the next day.
you can play whatever you like. I mean, or you can queue up the video. I put a link in the chat there to the Secret Covenant music video. It's a little dark, but again, remove that theatrical layer.
So dark and twisted, yeah.
Yeah, it's it's another way of getting my message out there. I'm not wrapping it up in a comedic bow anymore like I did with Flat Earth Man, and I've done that. I've done the comedy stuff, so I'm not pulling any punches with this video, and it's a little bit darker. And Chris Vick helped me to do the reptilian effects in it, and it's quite a thing. It's quite a theater. It's a good little piece of art.
Hey, May, I invited you to my Discord server. You got to at least stop by for 5 minutes and say what's up. There's a lot of good people that like you there, bro.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I don't really spend a lot of time on Discord anymore, but if you want to send me a link, I'll definitely jump in. It's always the time difference that's the problem, and I know. In the daytime, I'll jump on there.
You're right.
No one around because America's still asleep.
Yep, you're right, mate. Yep. Yeah, see, I work graveyard shift. This is a funny thing, yeah? I'm from Florida. I lived there most of my life. I've already got a connection with the Aussies, yeah? Then it turns out, because it was similar people. And then, the Crocs and the ocean, yeah? And then it turns out I work a job where I'm graveyard shift. So I sleep during the day, I'm awake at night, and that's when you guys is at your daytime, yeah? So it all works out in the end.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, send me a link to the Discord, and I'll hop in and see if I can see if anyone's there and say hello to a few people. But or perhaps we could just schedule something when a bunch of people are going to be there and we can hang out for a bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, if you want to play the video, it's up to you, man. But it's my latest piece of art.
I loved it, Alex. First time I heard it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
I know Bob does too. I know he does. So when I was jamming it, it definitely crawled into my mind. I was like, oh yeah, jam. Bob's up there. He was probably jamming with you while you were recording the thing.
I reckon he was, man. I know that definitely that's an album for Bob all day long. I mean, it's not that heavy. It's not like heavy metal. I'm calling it a rock album. It's not. There are some Metallica-esque kind of chords and that in there, but overall it's just